This is a watermark.
Hello, hello. Welcome everybody to another Akira live development session. My name is Alessandro. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here. As usual, like I always like to ask everybody, feel free to write in the chat, write all the questions that you want, but first let me know where are you watching from and what time is it right now. I'm extremely curious about all the people that watch this. Sometimes I have some crazy times, like I'm like in the Middle East, it's like 6 in the morning or like 3 in the morning and just watching this and it's just amazing. So yeah, let me know. Also let me know how's my audio, how's my video, if everything looks good. I'm gonna just quickly double check. I want to put a little bit of background music and see. Minus 30 minutes. I have a little bit of background music going on, but I cannot hear it. Yeah, I think like this is better. Okay. So I think it's like that. It's fine. Hello, Charles from Brazil. Thank you for joining. Loan in Nigeria. Yeah, it's midnight. Happy Hacktober. Yeah, thank you. It's Hacktober 2022. And of course, I joined as maintainer of a repository. So if you do any contribution to any of my repositories, those contributions, those PR merge requests will count against your contribution in Hacktober. So if you want to contribute, it's going to be fantastic. But let's jump right into it, shall we? Yeah, let's start this madness. Okay, first of all, you can follow the development of Akira live through the GitHub repository. You can load it, download it from scratch. You can compile it locally. You can test it. You can hack it. You can push. You can submit push requests, pull requests, whatever you want to do. It's everything. It's on GitHub/Akira UX/Akira. Everything it's in there. There are all the instructions to build it. It builds with pretty much all native dependencies from your Linux distribution, so it should be pretty straightforward. But of course, if you're not a coder, you want to support the project, you can first, the easiest thing to do is subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe to my channel, the YouTube channel, and you watch my videos, those views will convert into ad revenues and I will get a little bit of money. But also, if you want to contribute more, you can do through the sponsorization of the project itself. You can directly support me through my GitHub support, as low as $1 a month if you want, or you can pick Patreon if you want, or you can donate to LiberaPay if you don't want to use a proprietary things and you prefer to stick with FOSS projects. LiberaPay, it's what might work for you. But after that, let's get all this shit out of the way and let's start coding a little bit of Akira. So the last live streaming that I did at the beginning of the week, I showed you some little group selection issues that we were having. I fixed all of those and the PR is ready. So if I quickly compile and launch it, we can see the current situation. So if I create a group, so first of all, we fixed, like Martin, one contributor, fixed the fact that if you select different items in different location and I Control G to create a group, it doesn't crash anymore. It actually creates a group at the top. It just puts everything. Oh, I accidentally selected all rectangle. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, now the group selection, it's fixed. So if you over on a single item that is not part of the group, it just selects the single item. If you click on an item or select or go or roll over on an item that is part of the group, it highlights the whole group. But if you hold down Control, you can click and select the single items of the groups. I wish Linux had like some live modifier notification, something that I can show at the bottom to show you like what type of modifier I'm actually clicking. But yeah, you can hold Control and click to select single item, and all those items from that group will be the group remains open. You can click and double click and selects the items that you have double clicked in your, oh, there's some GTK UI styling issue here that we need to fix. Okay, yeah, you can double click and select those things. Or while I fixed also the artboard stuff, that if we add a group inside an artboard, these are all inside an artboard. If we have these and we create a group, I can click in the middle and it doesn't select the group. But if, of course, I can click on an item and actually selects the group, and this is, it's all good. It works. It's so nice, and the group selection is done. So what I want to do, of course, I requested a review from one of the various contributors, especially like MB Fraga is one of the most prolific contributors. A lot of the architectural rebuilds that happen were thanks to him. So I usually ask him the review to him because he's the most knowledgeable of us all. But of course, he just like helps whenever he can. He has a full-time job, he's busy, so I cannot rely on him. So I have this policy of, since Akira is an early alpha project and not production ready, it's not used it heavily in day-to-day work, it's fine to just merge whenever and just push things forward, and don't worry too much about the quality. We can circle back and fix all these things. So what I like to do whenever I do a pull request, I wait 24, 48 hours, and if you don't get a review, I just merge it. If I don't see, just like trust myself in merging. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna just quickly take a look at all the things that I changed, just to make sure that I didn't introduce any sketchy things that I can identify. And if everything looks good, we're gonna merge it and then work on something else, because I have another couple of small fixes that I wanna implement in the selection to improve the selection thing. So let's do it. So the first thing that I did was removing or being more specific with my CSS selection, and removing a lot of duplicates. All these CSS here was repeated the same exact CSS in the layer. So layers and artboards are basically the same row element, but of course they're styled differently. But I was repeating a lot of CSS. So I removed the specificity here of the layers class. I'm just using the generic row, so everything looks correctly. We got row entry. This makes sense. This is selected and over, and all these states we can confirm it. So this is being viewed, this has been viewed, perfect. Now I created a new drawable group. A drawable is a class. We extend the basic drawable class, which allows us to do these specific things. These drawing, this rollover effect of like the blue tint around. This is a drawable thing. Or when we have multiple items and we move it around, we have these snap guidelines. These are drawable. So a drawable is this entity of a class, of an item or an object that is on top of the canvas and can allow us to draw wherever. Also the selection rectangle that is not a real physical element in the canvas. So it's not a node that you can select and move around. All these knobs are drawable, so are something like these non-physical items that allows us to draw guidelines on top of the canvas. So I needed to create a drawable group in order to draw how a group needs to be represented on the canvas. And in this case, I only overridden the paint over, so the rollover effect. When you go on rollover, how the group should react to a rollover effect. And we have this type of drawables for every item, how a rectangle should react, how a circle or a path should react, how a text should react, all these kind of things. So I needed to create these. These are just overriding from the default classes. And here, basically, I'm getting the global transformation of the context of the rectangle. I'm applying the transformation. So if the group is rotated, it's scaled, it's skewed, the transformation is applied to this context. And then I create a rectangle around it by using the boundaries top, left, right, width, and height. And then I draw like a line based on two main factors, the scale and the color. And you can see here in this drawable class, scale and color are not there, are not to be seen. Actually, if I open the my code editor here and I go to drawable group, you can see that scale and color are passed due to this method, to the paint over method, directly from here. And the paint over method is a method that we are overriding from the drawable, from the class that we are extending. So if we go and we check that class, actually I don't want to do this, I just want to open the drawable. What is this? What am I doing? Drawable, the base class, and I search for the paint over method. Also here we have scale and color, so also the default one is receiving something. So if we search, global search for the paint over method, we have, when we view layer hover, view layer multi-selection here, when we draw the layer, we call the drawable paint over method, we pass the color, and the color is generated from the default color that we want. The scale is the scale of the canvas, we pass the line width. All these things, maybe we could improve it because this color should be kind of like a global color. It's something that we shouldn't define every time, but we should maybe have stroke RGB. It comes from the stroke that is defined here as a color fill, and the fill is still manually defined. So all these things should be, I think in the future we'll pass it through a preference, like a G settings preference, and we can allow the user to customize the color. But for now we hard coded the color and it's always the same. But yeah, this is what we're doing with this drawable, and it makes sense. So the drawable group, of course we're applying the scale, so when we zoom in and zoom out on the canvas, the scale reflects the line width, adapts to the width of the scale of the canvas. We apply the matrix transformation. This is standard Cairo transformation. Then we restore, and then we create a new path. So if we need to reinitialize something or we need to draw something else, the path has been closed. Like whatever we did here, it's in itself, it doesn't get affected. So it's a self-contained thing. Perfect. So this is viewed. Then here, I change a bunch of things. This is just clean up. Here we were checking if the selected node is not, the type is not a lib items model type Artboard. This type of condition is basically, I implemented this is Artboard attribute. Where is it? Here in the base model instance, and I'm checking if the type is an Artboard. The type is an Artboard is basically the same type of condition check. So I don't need to, as you can see here, I don't need to rewrite every time type is lib items model type Artboard, type is lib item. I just did a cleanup, is Artboard. Let's make a Boolean property so it's easier and it's cleaner, the code. It's cleaner to read, it's shorter. Perfect. Same thing here. Cached instance is Artboard or is group. We avoid to type the model type every time and specify the whole hierarchy. Here we are, these are fixes that Mart and Bfraga did. Yes, fixing the drawable area because we were having issues in drawing the bounding box of the group. So this has been fixed and the calculation now it's correct. The model, we are delegating the model for the trivial delegation. Check for cycle, source ID. Oh, he implemented a transfer model. The transfer is basically when we create a group, the items that are on the base canvas, they need to go into a group, they need to be transferred because the ownership changes. They don't belong anymore to the base canvas, so the base group, but they belong now to a new group. And before I was stupidly doing just a cut paste. I was just like grabbing all the data of those items, deleting those items and recreating them inside a group, which is not super idiotic, but it's kind of like not great. In this case here, he implemented a transfer method that allows us to loop through all the currently selected items, get the values of those items, converting into an array, and then moving that array into the group and restacking that array to make sure that the position of those child elements is fine. This is kind of like the things that MB Fraga is absolutely invaluable. It's someone that can handle these things. To me, like, I can potentially do it, but it would take me like weeks and weeks to just find the good things, and maybe I would also do some mistakes. He's very good in doing this stuff, so I am extremely grateful for his contribution. So all this works, all these look good, it's amazing. These I updated the model instance to just use the isArtboard, this boolean property. Fantastic. And here in the model node, we are doing two things here. First of all, this is the, let me check this value. I'm showing you how I do reviews to make sure that I'm not missing anything, if the logic makes sense. So here we are checking if the items are inside the canvas. And the first thing that I implement is that if the layer, the current component layer of this instance item is locked, so if I go and I trigger here and I select this and I lock this item, if it's locked and I go and roll over, nothing should happen. I shouldn't be able to select it. Actually, I still can't select it with the selection, so this is another issue that we need to solve. But if I click on it, if I go and roll over, nothing happens, because that item, whenever we try to identify what item is in the canvas underneath my cursor, nothing should happen because this is completely, it's locked. So we are preventing it. So yeah, this thing we need to do, and we won't, maybe something like that. The group select or the area selection, we're gonna fix it right away after I finish reviewing this stuff. Here as well, we are checking if the item is a group but is not on Artboard, because if the item is on Artboard, we don't want to handle it like it was a group. An Artboard is basically a glorified group. It is a group with extra features. So we need to distinguish those, and we need to have a specific item selection only if it's a group, because the Artboard, you don't want to click a child item of the Artboard and then get the Artboard selected. While if you're hovering on a group and you click on an item inside a group, you want the group to be selected unless you are holding control or you're double clicking. So we needed that distinction. Here, just code cleanup to align the brackets on the else statement. These I implemented the default model type Artboard. By default, it's false. And then only for the model type Artboard, we return true. So yeah, perfect. Pretty straightforward. The model type group as well is a group, but the Artboard is by default, it's false. And here we're I implemented the new drawable group that I implemented before, that we checked before. So we are constructing the canvas item with this drawable group. Hover manager as well here. If the item is selected, we do an early return because we don't care. And we ensure that a correct target. I created these ensure correct target method that we're gonna see already. And also here, if the item is already selected, we don't want to do anything. I deleted a bunch of repeated logic that we didn't need here, and removed the over effect every time we create a new one. Otherwise, we were having some ghost issues that we were able to have multiple select things. We use the pause redraw when we are handling multiple items, and we don't want to force the canvas to redraw itself every time. Especially, for example, you select 20 items, then you copy those items, or you create a group from those items. What do? We transfer those items from the canvas to a group. And transferring makes it detach from the canvas and attach to a group. whenever an item is detached from the canvas or attached to the canvas or attached to a group, the canvas redraw itself. So you can see the update of that item. But if we're doing it like 20 items all together, we want to redraw the canvas only after that operation is done. We don't want to force the redraw every time for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like, no, that would be silly. So we have this option to pause the redraw and then re-enable the redraw. And then we request the redraw after we compile the model. So we have all the items attached. Here, we can create a snapshot to have history. We implemented history, Control Z, Control Shift Z. So the snapshot, I moved it down there after the whole transfer things of the items. This is like other extra complicated things that we are implementing the transferring model. This is something that Martin did, so trust him on that. Some helper method here, checking if an item is a sibling of another item inside a group. So we can keep the group open if a sibling is selected, and ensure the correct target. So this method takes care of if you click on an item, we need to check, is this item inside a group? If it's inside a group and you don't have control selected, actually we need to select the group. Otherwise, if this item is selected already, but it's a sibling of another item, or this item is not selected, it's a sibling or another item inside the same group, just select the item. Don't go outside and select the group. So like this calculation is used in other areas, so it's great. I implemented a new dynamic GDK modifier mask that we can in real time check if the Alt key is pressed and the Control key is not pressed and stuff like that. Here we pass in the group, like pretty straightforward. This was just a type of fix. Alt is pressed, we have the is modifier. If the shift group is Alt in whatever situation, I don't know why, GDK handles shift group as the Alt modifier, and then the shift is actually called extended selection. I don't understand this, but that's how it works. Hello YBA, how's it going? And then here I needed to implement an enforce target in order to prevent the release click, because we do a couple of operations both on click and on release. And on release, sometimes it was changing the selection of the group and the target, so I needed to remove that. Here, a bunch of logic operation. If control is pressed, we do specific things. We ensure the group, the enforce the target, we reset it. And on double click event, we set the enforce target. And then on button release event, if we have an enforce target, we add that to the selection, we reset it, and we avoid to go through the rest of the button release and accidentally select something else. So we handle that, and we always clear that out. We don't want to keep a reference or an instance of that in our variable. That might be dangerous, it might affect other things. A little bit of cleanup. All these control codes here was moved inside the specific location, and here's some helper function. Insert array inside an index array. Index array, just like we have like a ordered position based array, so we can maintain the position of those items when we move them from the canvas to a group, from a group to a canvas, and so on. And here it's what I'm doing, like recursive get the parent. So when you click an item that is inside a group, if the item inside of a group of a group of a group of a group, so it's nested inside multiple groups, we need to recursively go back up to find the topmost group parent that is not the canvas, and we select that. So that's good stuff. And then the last one here is just the Mason build added. So this makes sense. So I'm gonna doing a YOLO merge. I called it this way, merge without squash and merge. Boom. Squash and merge. Done. Okay, so now we can git checkout main git pull, because the main branch was just merge. And if we go here and we do a ninja and launch Akira, we should have the same functionality because we just merged that stuff. We get Control G. Yeah, nice. Look at this. The selected, double click, select this. If I hold Control, it allows me to select single item. If I release Control, it selects the group, Control, single item, I select this. Perfect. Okay, we got it. Fantastic. So what do we want to work on right now? First of all, do you have any questions? Do you want anything? Also, there's another thing. You can support the project, the channel, myself, by purchasing some Akira swag. You can buy some t-shirts, you can buy some sweaters, a mug, some stickers. It should be at the top of the chat. There should be the pinned the Akira t-shirt. You can click on the link from Teespring or Spring, whatever, and check that. So yeah, you can buy some swag. And that's it. Okay, let's continue coding this thing. Drinking some water. Lohan says, too bad I don't know Vala. It's fine, you can learn it. It's actually a super easy language. I learn it, everybody can learn it. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so there are a couple of things that I want to fix. First of all, I want to fix that little thing that we identified right now, that if you have an item and the item, oh, we got this. If you have an item and the item is locked, if you drag, you can't select it and it hovers there. So we need to exclude that. Okay. Also, should remove that. Yeah. Okay. Let's do that first. First of all, let's check out git checkout. What branches do you have? Read branch. Group selection. First, I can delete the group selection. Git branch d group selection. Git checkout b selection fixes, something very generic. Okay, let's go there. Here on my selection should be in the view canvas, right? Area selection manager area contains. Okay. So selection manager selection our area. If I do a click and drag, it does an area selection, so it should be the selection manager. I don't remember. This code was implemented a long time ago. I don't remember what it is, so we need to find it. Remove from selection, item sibling, shrink around, on selection change, delete selection, change the order. Inner selection change. No, I think it's the canvas. Okay, the canvas we know. Holding. Okay, view canvas holding JSON borderless store view canvas transfer mode. Size, all the items fields. I know that is all. Oh, we're not using holding. Okay, so here is grid layout, set model, event bus, items removed, visible bounds. Set cursor by interaction mode, trigger just zoom. Key press event. No, we need the button press event. Focus sound, button press event. Remove hover effect. Event double click in middle, otherwise mode manager button press event. Ends the selection press. Mode manager. Mode manager. Multi-select mode. We have it here. Okay, so the multi-select mode. Initial drag state. There you go. We got a multi-select found items. There you go. Found items. Okay. Inbound. Nodes inbound region. Okay, item manager as a nodes inbound region, which is a good method name, but this thing should account for
this is a watermark.
Add. Okay, this should account for locked. It doesn't account for the locked item. If child node ID item selected instance okay locked instance component layer locked. Okay, so we can do something like that. If child node instance components layer locked or and, so if it's not locked, we want to add it. If node is equal artboard and node children is equal okay, only add items that are not currently selected and all the items that are not currently selected. So here, we handle the child node selection of the artboard's item, and here we are handling the node selection of items that are in the base canvas. So potentially this might have fixed our issue. Let's see. So I have this locked. No. Yeah, look at this. Woohoo! It's not selected anymore. So we fix it and we can confirm it that this other one works. This other one works. And if I select them all, it works. Okay. Nice. All right. Good stuff. Great. Okay. First fixed. And we can start creating the... we can start creating git status, git add, git commit, prevent area selection of locked items. Perfect. First one. All right. Then we want to do another thing. So if we check here, I'm gonna show you another issue that we have right now. So if I have an artboard, pretty fancy stuff, and if I have selected, if I click, I can, if I have the artboard selected, actually let me create a bunch of items. So if I click on the artboard area, it doesn't select it because it makes sense. The artboard is basically an empty canvas. It's a grouped canvas. So if I select on an empty area, it's fine, and I can select the child items of the artboard that are properly clipped by the boundaries of the artboard. Everything looks great. The artboard is selected through the a very way larger area of the label. So you can select the artboard, and once it's selected, you can click and drag it around wherever. It doesn't exclude your selection. The thing is though, when you click and not drag, so you just do a click, it should deselect or select the item if it's there, because you're not dragging. So I want to do this. If you're clicking here, let's fucking do that because I hate this. Yeah. Another thing that I want to do actually super quickly, I just want to fix. Whoa. I just want to fix this. Why this is CSS, right? Horizontal, what is this? Fields list box, GTK grid, no, is list panel. The entire fields list box. How do I determine which one I think is a list item? Should be this.
This is a watermark.
Or this, or fill list box, or activatable. So let's do something super silly. Activatable. Background color red. Okay, so background color transparent. Okay, this is generic, but if I do row. Oh, because also this is row. Okay, I see. Okay, I introduced that issue. Row. Okay, I introduced that issue. I know how to fix this. So I have the row class. Row entry background color base color, that's what I'm doing here, but the row class is actually used in a lot of places. Set CSS name is the list box row, so if the list box row for the borders items and fields items, borders list items, okay, context container here, let's do this. Get context, add class, item property. Let's call it that way, and we can do the same to borders list and to the fill items list. We can do exactly the same. So now we can say to our CSS here, raw not item property, make the background color less. I guess that should fix it, right? We're good. Yes, it fixed. We got our raw items that are there, and oh, there's little to no contrast to this. Okay. Oh, we need to fix the artboard styling. It's fine. And then our styling here is there's no fun. Okay, perfect. I fixed also that. Artboard styling. Artboards. Background color shade BG color. Shade. Why are we doing this? Shade BG color. Let's do 0.8. Is because it's so white. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't change anything here. But if we switch to dark mode, also here we don't see the difference. So let's see what. Oh, see here we see it. Oh no, we don't. Do we need to follow system styling? Should these, like, the layer should be, yeah, the layer should be correct. I can fix the background color later with some CSS. It's not a problem right now. It's fine. We can deal with that, but we fixed this status git commit add CSS class to fill color items, color list items to prevent styling to alright styling. Okay, and also this one's fixed. Now we need to take care of the artboard. So if the click happens on the artboard and there's no movement, so on release we need to click something. So button release, what is the name? Yeah, button release event. Okay, force target, we don't care. Initial release event is equal, or initial event and shift is not pressed. Target node canvas. Okay, so here check if there's no delta between the press and release event and the shift modifier is not pressed. If the shift modifier is pressed, we're adding items to the selection, so we don't need to do anything else. Okay, if the click happen on an item, we have multiple selected items and the click item is part of the selection. We need to handle a few scenarios. Okay, if the click happen on an empty area and we have multiple selected items, deselect them all. Okay, so here target different from null. Okay, so here if target instance is artboard, okay, let's do this, and initial event it's equal, and initial event, okay, we do this. If the target is an artboard, the initial event there's no delta.
This is a watermark.
Should be this. Oh, it's okay. Selection manager reset. Let's try this.
This is a watermark.
So I think we need to properly handle the selection of children underneath, but okay, if I do this, boom, segmentation fault. I introduced something. What did I introduce? If target is not null, yeah, not checking if it's null. Okay, so let's create an artboard. Boom, bam, 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 boom. Okay, now the release event on release. If target is not null, the target instance is an artboard. Like, I think we need to do it on click, but on click we don't know the, okay. And we need to check that is not so the
This is a watermark.
the hit test. This returns a boolean. Okay. Hit test. Hit test, drawable artboard. Okay, we need to use the hit test here to make sure that we are. Hello, Asnai, how's it going? Asnahin. Sorry. Hello, how are you? Trying to fix things and I'm failing, but this is what is up. Okay. Hey, I'm good. How are you? Hey, from Pakistan. What time is it in Pakistan right now? Okay, here maybe we could do something like this. Because the issue here is that the on click it doesn't release because here I'm not the target. I'm not targeting an arbor, so the target is not on Artboard. Okay, let me check something. First of all, before doing anything, I need to check my logic because this doesn't make sense. So let's do print. Our lovely print method is null.
This is a watermark.
String, and we print target equal null to string. Is not null. Okay, so this, if target is not null, will return true. So it's not null, true. Then
This is a watermark.
is Artboard. To string. Then no delta. It's 5:46 a.m. It's like 6 in the morning. Why are you doing connected here watching a weird Italian guy doing Vala development? What's happening right now? Yeah, thank you so much. Anyway, okay, I'm checking my logic here to see if I am actually doing stupid things. So first of all, boom, let's move it up a little bit, and this is my logic. Okay, target is not null. Okay, let's just do if target is not null. Let's just run this. If the target is not null. So if the target is not null, we run this, so we don't need to run that silly thing. Okay, this is fine, right? Boom. Is Artboard false? No delta, true. Okay, we got our logic and it makes sense. Okay, we need to returns, otherwise it's not readable. And actually, before doing that, we also want to print something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of these. So we have a visual separation of this. I hate all of this. Then we can do this. Boom, bam. Click. Is Artboard? It's false. No delta is true. Okay, now Artboard. Click. So the target is null. So the target is null. It means it doesn't happen any. Boom. Is Artboard true? No delta is. So here, if the target is null, boom. Is Artboard 4? Boom. Okay. Boom. Boom. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, is artboard false? No delta true. So it knows that we are clicking on the artboard here. It knows, okay. Okay, so the target not null. So our logic needs to be this. If the target is not null, the target instance is not an artboard, and the initial event is equal this, and the target belongs to an artboard,
This is a watermark.
shift is not pressed. Shift is not pressed, and the target instance is not an artboard. Initial, though we didn't move anything, and we need to check belongs to an artboard. Belongs. Belongs. Model ancestor account model belongs to. Get ancestor size. Start with get the number of ancestors the current model belongs to. Navigate values into all items of parent. Okay, get ancestors transform. Items in canvas. Artboard. In artboard. Do we have a method for the artboard? Draw model type artboard, default artboard, construct canvas item, component update, its group is artboard. Artboard, drawable artboard. I don't think the drawable artboard will simply create paint, draw text. Belongs to a paint over. Oh, it's not an artboard. Is not an artboard. Only one at least. Select instance is artboard. Origin. No, wait. Origin ID. Parent target. Group instance, model instance, origin ID, model node, parent ID, builder, model node, parent ID, get ancestor, recursive, get parent target. Okay, so recursive get parent target. So here we can use this method. We got a recursive get parent target, and public static lib items, public static bool target belongs to artboard. Target, we can do this. Yeah, okay. Instance. Do I have anything that has just doubled? Okay, well, belong to an artboard. Okay, we can say if target parent is now null, target ID. If target parent is not null, target parent ID is not the origin, and target parent instance is Artboard. Return true. Otherwise, we return false. I think it's too simplistic, this, but I think as a first step we can give it a try. So here, and well, util target belongs to our, what is this? How is it used? Lib I bother utils bother util. Oh wow, sleepy. Utils model util target belongs to our target. Reset the selection. Let's try this. Okay, here it resets the selection, but then it does a bunch of shit. Okay, var artboard. It's equal to get target artboard. Okay, we need to get the parent artboard. And this needs to be recursive.
This is a watermark.
Okay, so this is the logic, right? And the parent is a libmonolo. Okay, the logic is if the target parent, so we pass a parent, we need to find the artboard of the parent. Is the parent is not null, is not the origin ID, so it's not the canvas, and the parent is not an artboard, it means we are in a group. So let's do another round of this and let's try to find the artboard. If this doesn't run, so that for whatever reason the origin or the parent is not an artboard, or the target doesn't have a parent, so we are in artboard doesn't have the parent anymore, we check, is this actual parent an artboard? If yes, let's return it. Otherwise, let's return null. So we can do this here. Boom. Boom, boom. If Artboard is not null, and selection contains
This is a watermark.
item selected. If the artboard is selected and selection manager artboard items is selected, we reset the selection and we
This is a watermark.
okay, we reset the selection. Okay, the group is not affected by it, right? Yes. Okay, the group is not affected. Then we got an artboard. Okay. Right. Boom, boom. Okay. Boom, boom. We should select this now. And here we should remove it. Okay. Selection, reset selection, selection modified external, and we actually add target to selection, add to selection, add to selection, add to selection. Yeah, selection manager, so selection, perfect. We do these, reset selection, add items to selection. So we are, this scenario is done. We need this fucking, I don't need this anymore, but let's keep it. Okay, Ninja. So if we have an item, the artboard is selected. If I click on the artboard, it remains selected, and I can move it around. If I click on an item, it selects the item, not the artboard anymore. Okay. And if I click and drag, it doesn't select the item, only if I click. Perfect. So if I click and drag, no, only if I click. Yes. Should I do it also if it's here? What is this situation here? If I click on that. If I tap on that and I click the item, boom, target is null.
This is a watermark.
Okay. Okay, so if the click happen on an empty area and we have multiple selected and deselect them all. Or if target is null and count is equal to 1 and selection item selected selection manager is artboard count set selection to selection remove some selection item selected item sibling instructor target delete select on selection change in the order in the selection choose on flip. Okay, what is the selection node selection item selection, there you go. Node selection, first node, and selection, first node, and selection manager, selection, first node. Is this a method here? Node selection, first node. See, it returns a model node. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. Grab this. Boom, 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 boom. Selected equal selection of first node. If selected is not null, then we should declare as a variable. And selected, selected instance is Artboard. We do the same. Reset the selection and we grab this, right? Boom. Nice. Okay, we're all inside here, so I don't think I need to double check again the thing here. And we're all inside the thing. Okay. Ninja, I think we're good. Nice. And then if I select this, it remains selected because I'm clicking on that and I'm going here. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Then if I have these and I move them around and I click and drag them around, but then if I click, it deselects the canvas. And then if I click, it selects the item. Okay, I like this. I like this behavior. Okay, we need to write some comments here, because otherwise we are going to forget. If the target is not null, shift is not pressed, and the target is not on our board, check if the item belongs to an Artboard, which is currently selected. And if so, reset the selections and add that item. If the target is not null and only one item is currently selected, if the target is null, check if the selected item is on Artboard, and the selected if so. Okay, good. Hey, hello Chiku Docs. How are you? Thank you for joining this very, very challenging live stream. I'm coding a lot of good stuff here, but hopefully it will pan off. I think I've almost done fixing this. The thing that I did were this. So if we have, no, I don't want another Artboard. If we have multiple items, this is a group, and then here. Okay, we are this situation. Okay. If I go and roll over this, I click and select. If I click and select, it doesn't deselect it. Okay, great. If I do go the click and select, doesn't deselect. Double click. Hoo-hoo. Boom. Okay. Do I need to check also if it's a number? I don't know. Well, double click. Okay. Boom. This is a group. Okay. If if I'm on artboard and I have the artboard selected, I can click and drag it. But if I do a simple click on the empty artboard area, I should deselect it. Perfect, and it does correctly. But if I do a single click on an item inside an artboard without moving the mouse, so the delta, this is the delta, like the difference between the initial click and the final release. If the delta is 0, I click, it selects the items inside the artboard. That's fucking fantastic. Okay. All right. Boom, bam.
This is a watermark.
Git status, git add, git commit, handle, click on an empty artboard area, git push, set upstream origin, selection fixes. Okay, and git check out main to make sure that what I implemented, it didn't affect those groups thingy here. Okay, this is a group. Yeah, it's the same. I guess on double click, I should open the group and deselect it actually, or nothing, like nothing. No, the empty. Like if you have a group selected and you double click on an empty area of the group, it should just remain selected, right? Just makes sense. Yeah, it's fine. All right. Right, what did we do? Let's take a look at our PR, compare pull request. Various selection fixes. Here we did. Prevent area selection of locked items. Then fix list item wrong BG color. We need to report that. That was just this one CSS variable. Handle click on an empty area. Deselect the artboard if click and release without delta happens on an empty artboard body. Select the child item inside artboard if the click and release without delta happens on a selected artboard on an item inside a currently selected artboard. Makes sense, right? I think it makes sense. Let's check what we did here. We created item property just to avoid those border lists and then fill list you get style accidentally. Here, if the child node instance is not locked, we don't add it to the selection. That's perfect. Here we remove these, or I don't know why, like the delta should be X and Y delta should be that. Yeah, it should be that. Okay, that's good. Yeah, very, very small PR, and we improved a lot of usability. I love Vala. Vala is just so simple. You can do a lot of powerful things by few lines of code. Yeah, I like it. All right, this makes sense. Create pull request, reviewers, and be fraga. Okay. Canvas library. Create pull request. All right. We have any lint fixing error that we need to do? Space, fix this, it's locked, remove this, simplify this, artboard edit target, true, artboard edit target, true, origin, return target, or return null or recursive, and if selected is not null and selected instance is artboard. Okay. Happy. I'm very, very happy with this. Awesome. All right. How's everybody doing? We had a bunch of people watching this live streaming, but of course, like, this is a very targeted thing. Like, it's Akira, it's a Linux application written in Vala, which is a kind of an obscure language for a lot of people. So usually these live streamings are kind of like not super like famous, or like they don't attract a lot of people. But thanks everyone for showing up. That was it warms my heart. So yeah. All right. Hello, OKF4. Can you do a tutorial of using React in WordPress? Sure. I'm currently doing PHP tutorials because I like PHP a lot. And I haven't had the chance to actually use it recently, so I'm doing the tutorial also to keep my mind fresh and not forget about PHP, so that's good. But yeah, I will do React WordPress. I mean, WordPress already uses React for Gutenberg and blocks, so you can check those tutorials. Thank you, YYBA. Thank you so much. Oh, so kind. All right. Yeah, I think I'm going to stop it right now. It's been almost an hour, more than an hour and like 70 minutes or something of live streaming. We fixed a bunch of very good things. I'm very excited about the progress in Akira. And yeah, as usual, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share the video, share the love. Thank you so much for watching. And until the next one, as usual, happy coding. Bye-bye.